What if I were to tell you that humans don't need carbohydrates in their diet? That essential carbohydrates aren't necessary for human nutrition? That sounds pretty outlandish, right? And you're probably saying, wow, this guy's stupid. AJ, stop talking because you're not a doctor or scientist. Well, I may not be a doctor, but Jeff Volek is. And he's an expert in exercise and nutrition, weight loss, dietary supplements, and in this particular instance, low-carb dieting. Not only did Dr. Volek explain how low-carb dieting worked, but he put it down to the science and he revealed some really interesting facts that I never knew existed. For example, when on a low-carb diet, we should actually utilize fats to help us burn body fat. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but that's how the science works. Without the carbohydrates, our body will actually switch over to using fat as a source of energy. All those foods that we love, butter, heavy cream, olive oil, canola oil, bacon, all those foods are actually not harmful, only when paired with a low-carb diet, that is. Even over in Sweden, an entire country has rejected the dogma of the low-fat, high-carb diet. They are actually going on a low-carb, high-fat diet. So there is a lot that goes into the science of low-carb dieting. But I was able to pull Dr. Volek aside and have him share some really good tips and advice for anyone who's trying to begin their weight loss journey. What would be the one thing that you would want your audience to leave with?
Well, I would hope to have inspired people to think more carefully about carbohydrate in their diet.
Of course.
And be open to potentially experimenting with a low-carb diet and becoming more comfortable and educated about how you would go about implementing a low-carb diet.
And for someone who's trying to lose weight, what would be the first piece of advice you would give them?
Well, I think for people who are overweight, low-carb diet works very well. I think people need to be in the right frame of mind, though, to switch to a low-carb diet. It requires some effort and some education to do it appropriately and in a way that's not just going to create weight loss, but that's going to create permanent weight loss. And that's the real trick, is to make it sustainable, to make it a lifestyle. And so, that's not trivial. It requires a certain mindset, and of course people need to understand how to do that.
In addition to learning about low-carb dieting, there were also snacks available to show exactly what kind of foods we're able to snack on while dieting with low carbohydrates. But if you're someone who missed his seminar and want to know more about experimenting with low-carb dieting,
so you need to engage some resources and some support systems, and that's why I've written a book on the topic, because we want to provide that education and that information to people and make it accessible. The most recent book is The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living, which I published with a co-author, Steve Finney. We published a more recent one specifically for athletes too, because there's also a smaller group of individuals who don't necessarily need to lose weight, but are active, and they're also curious about what potential benefits a low-carb diet would have. So we wrote another book called The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Performance, specifically for active people and athletes.
So remember to subscribe to ajFitness so these videos come straight to you. You can follow me on Twitter @FitnessWithAJ. Thanks for watching, you guys. Take care.